back, Quinn. I think you're muted.
Hi.
There he is. Hey, there's Muncie's belly, and he's gone. All right, welcome to the Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, along with Quinn Pushkar. We are or Puskar, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and who you are, and if you are literate or not. I'm back. I'm back in HQ. I feel like I'm home again, which is weird because I've been home for 2 weeks. But this is where the magic happens, right? This is where YSN, HQ, East Palestine, Stream City, USA, the home to the aliens, which you didn't see yesterday. I still didn't show you that video. What would you say, Quinn, if I told you that the aliens live among us here in Stream City?
I would say it depends on who it is. If it's the man that just left, I'd agree. If not, I mean, maybe I could see it.
The people saw 4 alien beings, we think. One had work boots on. They saw him here in East Palestine. Video evidence. So, I don't know. I know you didn't see it. Get Muncie out of here for now. Like, get him out. See ya. We'll get him when he comes back. I'm worried that he's on in a conversation that should not be happening while he has a running camera on our show. So we'll give him a little bit of privacy. Quinn, so you and I got some catching up to do. But before we do that, we want to make sure that everybody knows National Popcorn Day. And it's interesting because you're a popcorn guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time.
But you're not as big as the popcorn guy here at Ysn in Steve Leslie.
No, I can't compete with Steve. But
no, I mean his I believe his middle name is Orville Redenbacher.
I believe that. He's a popcorn fiend. I mean, it's gone. I'm looking over there and it's gone. There's none left.
We're gonna have to go buy some because it's National Popcorn Day naturally, and we can't let this one go. This is serious. So my question to you is: best way to prep your popcorn?
Oh, that's tough. I'm just a classic butter guy if I make it myself. Just some good old butter.
Are you an extra butter guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time.
Like movie style?
Oh, yeah. When I go to if I go to a movie theater, they basically I ask for like half a bucket of butter and the rest fill up with popcorn.
Michael Page saying, "Please don't play the aliens again. It's still in the queue. We got it when we need it." Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. Kettle corn.
Mm.
I've been told now.
In on all this, but he's never a part of this. It's unbelievable.
Coach Seidel, I'm interested because is kettle corn a real distinction? I mean, is it a real version of popcorn because it's sweet?
I think it depends on if it's actually made in a kettle or not. Like if it's the bagged kind, like no way. But if it's made in the kettle, then I would say so. I've gotten to see like one of the guys that when I worked at YSU, one of the guys that was a vendor of some sort, like makes it at the fair. Like he has one of those carts that he pulls around and stuff with the big kettle and makes it and stuff like that. I would say that's real kettle corn.
I think that there's a family or I know there's at least the lady out of South Range. They're always there at the South Range football games. That's my favorite. I mean that's good kettle corn. But Paige chiming in, white cheddar popcorn. I'll eat the whole bag if it's in front of me. I can get behind that. Here's the other one. The secret to popcorn: Parmesan cheese. If you just have regular popcorn and you do like a straight out of the bag. You go Parmesan cheese on top, game changer, complete game changer. Like
I've heard about that. I've never tried it. I'm too afraid.
If Quinn buys me a kettle, I will make it. Let's go. Let's go. Get Seidel a kettle. He'll make us some kettle corn. We'll have him down here. I mean, I don't want to put his business out there, but that could be your new business.
Why not? Maybe. We'll see.
Coach Kettle. We'll start calling him Coach Kettle. Mix of caramel corn and cheddar popcorn with one of these. I,
I don't mix my food. I
oh,
eat a lot, but I don't mix it.
I mix all the time,
Mm.
but caramel and cheddar,
Can't do mixing.
I don't know.
Doesn't it come in like a tub like that, like one of those big
Yeah, yeah, you got the
dividers?
yeah, the regular what, buttered
Yeah,
fake butter popcorn, then you have the cheddar corn, then you have the caramel corn. I like no, those are always separate.
yeah, they're separate for a reason.
My mom agrees with Katie. Her name's Kate, Mom. I know you probably just flip those around. Nobody calls her Katie. I think she would punch me in the face if I called her Katie. Sorry, Kate. Katie. All caps.
No,
She went caps lock on us.
there's a reason it's divided.
You guys will hate this, but I like hot sauce on my popcorn. Okay.
I
That's
could see
interesting.
that. I could see that be like a mixture of some kind.
Quinn, we spent 10 minutes talking about popcorn on National Popcorn Day. I think we've done it justice.
I could talk about this for hours. Like, I'm a big popcorn guy.
You know who
Different.
we need? We need to get. We need. No,
No,
gross.
no, that's chaos. No, no, I'm not about that kind of life. That's too much chaos for me.
I mean, that's how you. That's how you eat popcorn in prison. I'm pretty sure. No rules.
Nah, not happening.
Mom, come on. My mom's coming up for my birthday, so I'm excited about that. But I will tell you this: I'm going to get rid of all the popcorn before she enters my house now, because homie don't play that. My house, my rules, and we have established rules in the Yoakley household. This isn't just some kind of ransacked backwoods in Negley and East Palestine. Like, we're trying to live the life. All right, Quinn. Lots of lots of stuff to talk about. Starting with this, Izzy Lamparty has been a young lady who we have covered for the last 4 years since we've started. Yesterday, if you were watching the game, obviously, bad situation that kind of went down. Izzy got tangled up, went down, hit her head, and all kinds of unfortunate issues and thoughts. She was laying there for a good length of time as we bring in Paul Munson as well. He can bring some light to the situation. But we do want to send our thoughts and prayers to Izzy. She is on the road to recovery. She did get all the feeling in her extremities back, from what we understand, from what we can gather from all the tweets and social media kind of investigators. Coach Fish putting out a tweet, I think, last night that kind of gave a nice exhale for the majority of people that were wondering what was going on with Izzy. But want to pass our thoughts and prayers to Izzy, her family, for a speedy recovery, and to get back on the court hopefully as soon as possible. But her health is the number one priority overall. So, Paul, you were there. You saw what happened. How scary was it for you?
It was probably one of the scariest things I've seen. I mean, I've seen, in years past, kids go past the hoop and stick their leg out. I've seen a couple kids break their legs, hitting the mat behind on the wall back there. This was, she went up for a rebound, and as her and one of the girls from Poland were both coming down, they both were just going down backwards, and she's holding on to the ball. She had the ball. And when she hit, her head hit very, very hard on the court, and she was out. She was knocked out, and she was out for a little bit. And it was the bad thing is, what makes it even worse is the way that COVID is right now, with how many people are allowed in the gym. I mean, you don't not only heard that, but then your parents are right there, and like they're trying to talk to her, but not realizing what the severeness of what was going on. And then when they do finally get down there, and the trainers were there, and everybody there did a great job to make sure she was as safe as she could be. I mean, everybody's in the gym, and it was like an eerie, just like quiet. And then Coach Blanche said, girls, go to the locker room. Coach Fish got his girl to the locker room. I made an announcement to get everybody out of the gym, and give them some privacy. And then, I mean, it was just one of those weird feelings. It was like, you didn't know what to do. I mean, do you leave? Do you stay there? What happens? I mean, it was one of those kind of just weird situations. Like you don't like to see it. You don't like seeing it like in football games or anywhere else, but like, it was just, there was nowhere to go and you were kind of like in no man's land. But I'll give Brendan Miller, who was our South Range guy. He did a great job last night. He immediately, shut the camera down and just went black and just talked to everybody to kind of let them know what was going on. Because there was a lot of people were trying to figure out, hey, why did this broadcast go offline? Not realizing what had happened. And he did a good job. And like you said, she's home. They diagnosed just a severe concussion. Everything else is good. So, I mean, she'll be out for a couple weeks, but, you still got to take care of yourself and make sure, you take care of the brain. But yeah, I mean, it was scary, but like I said, thankfully everything's okay. And, she's home and she'll, hopefully, like you said, on the road to recovery. So
I don't think we ever can give enough credit to the coaches, the athletic directors in that situation, because those are some tough decisions and based around COVID and, based around, getting games in and making the best decision for all your team, and knowing the schedule you have coming up. I give so much credit to everybody in that situation, from the coaches to the athletic directors, to the fans, right? To understand the levity of the situation, right? To understand this is not only is that a young student athlete who's a senior, that's a friend, that's a sister, that's a daughter, that's I mean that's a teammate. Sometimes if you look at Poland, I'm sure that those players have intermingled before on AAU teams or community teams at some point. To know and understand that, what was it, 4-4? When
it was a minute and a half into the game. It was 4-4. I mean, it was billed as one of the two best games that were going to go on last night. The other one being the Western Reserve West Branch game. I mean, you had two of your premier teams right now, not only in the NE8 but like in the area. I mean, and so it was like, okay, this was going to be a great game. And like you said, when it happened, I mean, unfortunately, like the South Range girls were very, very upset, very emotional. Some of the Poland girls were a little, I mean, it happened right in front of their bench and like they were right there. So they immediately were there, and credit, like you said, to both coaches. I mean, Coach Blanche said immediately, he goes, if my girls don't want to play, this is done. And, we kind of, some of the administration that was there with me, we all kind of figured this was going to be done, because I don't think there was any way possible the South Range girls were going to come back on that floor and try to play, and knowing that like they didn't know what was going to go on. So we kind of knew it was going to be over. But like I said, the administrators that were there for both Poland and South Range, both were like, listen, this is get her healthy, get her done. Like this game can go on at another time. When it happens, we don't know yet. They haven't made any decisions, but they just said this will be a start over and we're going to go at another time. But who cares about that right now? Let's get her taken care of. So,
and I think that's huge. I think that so often we get so wrapped up in the final score of a basketball or any game, right? Any sport, and how we get to that final score, that this was a great example of leadership at its finest. And you guys know how I feel about leadership. It can come in whatever vessel it comes in. I'm just always a big fan of somebody stepping up and doing things the way that they're supposed to be done. I give a lot of credit to Donnie Farron and Brian Banfield for taking this and understanding, again, this is just a game. Let's look out for the young lady who is, and her family, and the young ladies that are affected. Mentally, is there a way, Quinn? I mean, you've been a part of injuries on a floor before. Is there a way to mentally kind of reset yourself in a situation like that when one of your teammates or one of the girls you've known for a long time over the last 4 years or so gets carried away by an ambulance and you don't know what the status is. I think there's a lot to that. Is there a way to hit the reset button,
No,
or I'm not asking you if they did the right thing, because they did. Is there is a situation where you see that maybe you go back to the game?
no, there's no way to kind of reset yourself at all. I mean, you could twist it however you want to and try to like convince it, like, hey, play for your teammate or whatever, and all that stuff. But you can't reset something like that. Um, just no matter how significant the injury is, even if it's just like a twisted ankle and you're done for the day or something like that, it's tough. I mean, it's tough on your team to keep going when you're not there with one of your teammates. It's a tough situation, and in the situation last night, it was handled the right way, 100%.
We have breaking news into the YSN headquarters, and thanks to Anthony Hartwig chiming in, saying that the Valley Christian game with Hubbard is canceled. Hubbard has a positive COVID test. This is according to the VCS Athletics Twitter page that Anthony is forwarding to us. So, and Jamie's a little bit surprised. So, hang on while I tend to that a little bit and try to get us caught up here.
To comment on like what Quinn said too. I mean, to hit that reset button. I mean, you see it sometimes if a kid twists an ankle or twists the knee or does something. I don't want to call it minor, but something that is where they can get them off the floor in a relatively quick manner and tend to them to the side. When you have something like that, I mean, this was 25, 30 minutes, unfortunately her like sitting there and waiting. And so like, it was one of those things like now, by the time they would have probably been back on the floor, it would have been almost an hour later. So, what kind of shape are you in? You've already gotten all pumped up and now you've had this tremendous low. And now how do you get pumped back up again? I think you cut your losses and say, listen, this can go on at another time when we can get mentally and physically prepared for this. And you shut it down. It's over. Sorry folks for coming out, but we'll make sure you can come back again. Kids, we need to make sure you're okay as well.
I can't imagine there's anybody saying, hey, I want a refund, given what transpired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we told them to listen, hold on to your ticket stubs. They're good for the next time you come back and
sure,
it'll be fine. But yeah, it was just crazy. And, to comment on like, Coach Seidel's thing, a lot of schools, it's very rare sometimes that you see an away school travel with a trainer. And Poland did, the trainer that was here for us, like they work for private companies. Mm-hmm. So he got here a little late. He got here during the incident, but to have an away school have a trainer sometimes is rare, because the unfortunate thing is as he's got his dollar sign on there, that's what it is. It's money. It's tough for a lot of times for schools to have somebody there because they've got to pay them. And if they don't have the money to pay them, they don't. And we all know how OHSAA is. I mean, they're going to bring it in, not give it out.
Well, isn't it set up too with hospitals a lot of times that if you're within X amount of miles or some distance away from a hospital, they'll try to partner with your school in order to provide you an athletic trainer or fund an athletic trainer for you. That's at least what I've heard. I could be way off base here. That's probably why we need an athletic director to kind of educate us on how that works. I mean, that it's not really our lane to get into, but
yeah.
In a perfect world, everybody has a trainer, and you got multiple trainers for the multiple sports that you have on. I mean, for instance, tonight, McDonald on the network, boys and girls basketball. So what do you do if you have a trainer for McDonald? Which one gets the attention?
Yeah,
I mean, it's difficult.
You stay home or do you go away? That's the thing. And like I said, a lot of times, like with, for instance, South Range, knowing South Range, I'm here, it's Peak Performance. There's a place right in North Lima. Yep. They've got to deal with them. They come here and they do the stuff. I don't know how Poland's trainer was, but I mean, that girl was great. I mean, she was right there. She did exactly what she needed to do, and they took care of it, and it was handled properly. But I mean, not all the times does that happen. And that's the unfortunate thing, because you don't know. And the bad thing is it gets worse the longer the school year goes. And stick with me on this. During football, you always have a trainer of some sort there. you always have an ambulance that's there too. A lot of times there's always an ambulance or some kind of medical personnel that a school might have there. Then you get to basketball, and maybe there's a trainer there. You like to hope so, it'd be there. Then you get to your spring sports, and it's like there's nobody there. We don't have trainers at baseball games and softball games and at track meets. I mean, and what would happen if somebody gets hurt there? It's
That's
just
why you take classes, right? I mean, emergency. You have to be prepared for emergency. From a baseball and softball perspective, and I can say this because I've been around it my entire life, the injuries to baseball and softball players are very different than a basketball player, a football player, even volleyball, because you're talking about what? You get hit by a pitch, depending on where you get hit by a pitch. They're more freak incidents, you know what I mean? Basketball, I mean, that wasn't, you can call it a freak incident, what happened to Izzy yesterday, but it happens more often than not anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and Quinn can attest to this being a basketball coach. I mean, kids hit the deck. I mean, I'd probably say, a dozen times a game, if not more?
Yeah, for sure.
Coach Seidel saying, I have a friend who is a full-time AT at N. Don't know what
North
that
Canton
is.
Hoover.
North
Athletic
Canton Hoover.
trainer.
Athletic trainer, North Canton. All right, there was too many letters in there for me. I felt like Beethoven for a second. Very interesting to hear how she prioritizes and what a day in the life is like. I'd be interested. I'd be interested to hear what it's like to be an athletic trainer for a day. I know in college, I was so overwhelmed that somebody was there to wrap my arm after baseball practice. Like I was waiting for a bill. Like here in high school, if you don't wrap your arm, or I don't go to my mom and say, hey, I need my arm wrapped or iced or heated, it wasn't getting done. Like there's nobody, like you felt so spoiled doing that, but that's what they're on staff for, to make sure that there is some maintenance to you, that you're not breaking down. Coach, James Bartell saying, I didn't realize they don't give trainers anymore. Seems like
probably have trainers anymore.
Seems like we always had one when I played, even if it was an intern. West Branch has an ambulance on site for football games after we had a kid die after running a track meet.
Yeah. I mean, so, and that's the thing, like, some schools are able to do that, and it's unfortunate they had to have something happen like that to force the issue. But yeah, I mean, I think more and more schools are getting on board and saying, listen, we need to have a trainer here. We need to have somebody who's, whether it's outside or if we have somebody on staff that's going to be here all the time, trained, that needs to be done. I mean, most of your coaches, like you said, DJ, most of the coaches have taken some kind of courses.
They have to, don't they?
Yeah. You have to take your concussion courses, your other courses like that. But like, wrapping up something, or if a kid, I mean, the trainer that's here, I mean, if a kid just gets a bloody nose or a bloody lip, they're immediately over there with some gauze and some stuff, and they're taking care of it. I mean, wait, before you finish that thought, who are badasses? I have to point this out, because we've been exposed to more sports than we've ever been exposed before in our 4 years here. Wrestling coaches are badasses. Yep, 100%. I knew you were going to go there too.
I mean, you see the blood, you see the gruesome way that kids come down on their shoulders, their back, their head, their neck, all that stuff. And the referees are fantastic as well. The wrestling officials, second to none. But I gotta say, wrestling coaches are they're a different breed, and I mean that in a good way, because it's clean up the blood. They don't ask questions. It's never like, it's just matter of fact, part of their job. I don't see very many. I think I take that back. I see one trainer almost at every wrestling meet. But when you have 3 mats going on, or 5 mats or 6 mats going on, that trainer's all over the place, and you've got injuries everywhere. And I think they actually call it blood time. Whenever there's blood, and then they stick something up your nose, and then the wrestlers finish with something up their nose, and it's clotted with almost I don't even want to. Weird for me to say. It's almost like a mini tampon they shove up their nose just to clot the bleeding, and they still finish.
Yeah.
They still finish the match with that in their nose. If you put something in my nose right now, I'm done with the show, man. I'm done. I'm out. I'm walking. I'm out the door. I'm going home. I'm taking a nap. Like it's the end of the day. These wrestlers and these wrestling coaches, badasses, different level. So credit where credit is due.
Yeah, the stuff those guys can do. I mean, a couple of my buddies wrestled, and listen, I was a decent sized guy back in the day, and it was like, okay, they're wrestlers, but I was a football, baseball guy. I'm like, oh, you start horsing around with those guys, and within like seconds, they have you in a pin and a move, and like they're like your arms stretched back and your legs wrapped around your head. They're like squeezing you, and they're like, you give up now? You're like, yeah, dude, stop that, please. Like,
knock it off, butthole.
Like, how did you do that? And how did you do that so quick? It's like, holy crap. I mean, yeah, no, man. Wrestlers are a rare. They're a different breed, man.
I'm always interested because we didn't have wrestling at Palestine whenever I was in school, and I would have loved it. I mean, I probably would have been the kid I was the kid that loved professional wrestling, but if I had the chance to do the amateur stuff, I obviously I didn't have size. It's a sport where you match up with someone that is your exact weight, not exactly your size, but your weight, and you can control your weight a little bit. But I was always interested in what it would have been like to be a wrestler because I took Taekwondo and all that stuff growing up. Thought it was fascinating, and we just never had wrestling. Now they do. Now everybody seemingly has wrestling because it's a growing sport, and I understand why.
Big time. I was talking to the AD at Cheney, Casey, and they've got some girls on their team, and he goes, it's amazing to watch. He goes, that these girls are out there doing their thing too. He goes, and they got to wrestle against boys. He goes, because there really are no girls, and he goes, they hold their own. And he goes, they're out there doing amazing things. I mean, and that just shows how far that sport's coming to be more popular.
I will say this, Paul. I will say this. I don't know that I could wrestle a girl. I don't know that I can do it.
He when I talked to him, he said it's very interesting to watch it happen, because he is you've got to grab around in certain spots, and he goes, to watch, the boys have to do that with the girls, but he said that the girl that they have is she's in one of the upper classes. Yep. So she's wrestling with some bigger kids, and he goes, it's a little easier, but yeah, I mean, it'd be different. For sure.
And I say this because Coach Seidel is chiming in. Sebring always had one or two girls on their football team, and I swear to you, I would always end up one-on-one with them, and they were always linemen, right? And it drove me insane because Mama Yoakley brings you up and she says, don't ever touch a girl, don't, never aggressively, not like that. And then she's lined up. She probably was the same weight as, she was a foot taller than I was, and I'm sitting there, I'm like,
what do I do?
You're in my dojo. Like, yeah. I'm about to be your sensei. I don't know how to react. So on the mat, I would be like, hard pass, man. I can't do it. I mean, the competitor in me would want to do it.
Yeah.
But from a gentleman's standpoint, what is there to gain by wrestling a female?
Yeah. I mean, unless you have to. I mean, unless they say, listen, this is, the situation, and this is where you have to go, and that's it. So, I mean,
there's Paige. I wrestled a girl. Like, he's not worried about what he looks like. He's worried about what it looks like if he loses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only time I ever had a problem, and maybe this is hitting on a social issue that was like, it's been around for a little bit, and I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, was there was the big story about the boy who wrestled in the girls division and won like a bunch of state titles.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
out
yeah,
west. Like, that's where I had a problem with that.
Hey, Ty.
Hey, what's up?
Because my thing is like, listen,
doing a show.
You've got your own lane to stay in with that, and you are choosing because of this whole different how I look at myself kind of thing, and it's like I found I had a problem with that, and like it was just weird.
Billy McCartney says, "I'll RKO anyone, don't care." Well,
We know that, Billy.
I'm just gonna put it out there. If we're watching, like, I would rather pay money to watch instead of McGregor 2 this weekend. I would watch Kate Kelly versus Billy McCartney 1, and I would put a hefty sum on Kate to win that, even if Billy tries to RKO her.
Yeah.
She would whip his ass.
Oh yeah, she'd
Oh,
pull
yeah.
it out. Hey, it's fight dirty now. It don't matter. Let's go.
It's game on, and I'm not saying that Billy's a chump. Like he can beat some people up, but Kate is she's the sweetest young lady.
Piss her off. Though.
I would not want to make her mad. Like, she's one of those ones, like, you meet and you're like, man, this would be an interesting fight. Like, if like they both just got hammered one night and said that, you know what, we're throwing hands. Kate's winning that.
Oh yeah.
And that might be weird, like how it works in my head when you meet people. Like, I don't always say, okay, who would win the fight between such and such. But I gotta admit,
Stop people up as you meet them. All right,
Yeah.
can't beat him up, but I bet he could beat this person up.
come on, you're telling me when you walk into a room, especially, listen, airplanes, I'm always sizing people up. I'm always like,
On an airplane?
back of the airplane. I'm going straight to the back. I want to see everything that's in front of me, right? Thanks
What
a
are you
lot.
like in the mall? Like you don't want people to be behind you or something as you walk in a restaurant?
Dude, watch 9/11 films. You'll never sit in the middle of an airplane again. Like, I'm sizing people up. I'm like, all right, that dude's military. Because I always every time I see somebody in the military on an airplane, I'm like, all right, man, you're cool.
We're
in
okay
this.
now.
You give them the nod, right? Yep, we're in this together. If stuff goes south, I got you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know for how long, but I'm like, I'm
I'll
not
be your
military.
shield or I'll be behind you. One of the two, man. But let's go.
Like, I will take this seatbelt and I will craft a weapon, like a nunchuck with it. Whatever we got to do. But
Nunchuck.
I find myself doing that more often than not nowadays, and it's weird because I'm not a violent person. Like, I've been in a handful of fights in my life, haven't won very many of them. But I would say this is like, you size them up and you're like, all right, man. Like, somebody walks in the door, you're like, all right, I'm not gonna win that fight. Like, but I know that there's 3 baseball bats behind me. I know all these things. Like, I'm ready to go. All right. Before we get any further, we got to take a break. But you guys joined on. Paul, I know you had a conversation in your room. It's National Popcorn Day. Talk to me about your favorite prep of popcorn. Do you doctor it up? Do you drizzle chocolate on it? What crazy stuff do you do with popcorn? What's your favorite way to prep your popcorn? Paul Munson first.
My favorite popcorn is the caramel popcorn, like the stuff that like they. Well, oh my gosh,
Kettle corn?
Kettle corn, yeah, dude, kettle corn, love it. That's my
All right.
favorite stuff.
Ty, how about you?
I don't know if they serve this at all ballparks, but I know they definitely serve it in Cleveland, and it's the mix where you have the cheese corn, the butter corn, and the caramel corn, and it's all mixed into like one bag. Oh, that's the best stuff. I love it.
Like in the tub?
Yeah, it's like a tub,
Yeah.
and at
The
Cleveland
metal
they
tub
actually
with the
sell it for like
vibrator.
$3 or $4. Yeah, and it's awesome. It's just all together. I love it.
The $5 tub from Walmart is with the puppies on it at Christmas.
The metal tin.
Yep, that's it. All right. Before we go to break, want to tell you that this part of the show is brought to you proudly by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. #TrustDriven. Make sure that if you are in the need for a service for your Chevrolet, or whether you're looking for a new or gently used vehicle from Chevy, you're looking at Greenwood Chevrolet, proud sponsor of the Ysn Power Hour. Thanks to Greg Greenwood, the entire team out there. Oh, man, you guys are creepy as hell. We appreciate you so much for all your sponsorship of Ysn. Greenwood Chevrolet, also the exclusive Chevy dealer of Ysn. So we want to make that absolutely and abundantly clear. Guys, when we come back, think about this. There's so many rules in sports. What is one rule that you would like to see go away or changed? Think about that. I know there's been a lot of conversation over helmet to helmet. There's been a lot of conversation with Potesta about the fumble out of the end zone rule. Think about the worst rule in sports and how you would change it. We'll have that when we come back. YSN Power Hour, live from YSN headquarters. First time in 2 weeks. Can't wait. I'm so excited. Can't believe it.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms. It just tastes better.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. Having an interesting discussion about fighting after Billy McCartney said he would RKO anybody. Carrie chiming in saying, Kate for the win. All capitalized. Matt Seidel saying Billy doesn't want that smoke. Beto saying Billy would break a hip if he tried to RKO her. Coach Seidel saying absolutely every flight I'm sizing everyone up and never sleep. So I feel better because I'm not alone. Like I'm not the crazy guy right in the back of the plane now going, okay, well if it came down to me and Grandma, I like my odds. Ty, your dad saying, I hear you, DJ. My back is always against the wall when I sit down to eat. That's a little extreme. The alien video is less creepy than Muncie lurking around that sponsor ad. That's coming from your wife. That's always good.
That's good.
Feel like I missed something important while I was on the phone.
Uh-oh.
Kate, yes, you might have. You might
Kate,
want to replay
money's on
this
you
one.
to beat up Billy. Don't worry about it.
Yesterday also, Billy did a fantastic to be the man. You got to beat the man with a woo at the end. So other than Ty, I think everybody else missed that. So Billy is doing running errands right now for I believe for Kate, but that is not confirmed. He's doing what he needs to do. So I know everybody. He's one of the favorites here on the show, and everybody loves hearing and seeing him get mad. I think we all still love seeing him get fired up.
He's getting ready for his game tonight.
Yeah, well, he's got LeBray, right? He's got a
Crestview.
big one.
Yeah, LeBray Crestview tonight.
Drake is 7 or 8 points away from breaking the all-time record for Crestview scoring. That's
8 points away.
pretty awesome. All right, what do we got here? Mardell saying, I have sparred with enough girls to know never to underestimate their power or toughness. No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Hey, they have kids. We don't.
See, this is what I'm talking about, right? Kate doesn't even need to beat him up. You just got to give him the look. But what I'm saying is when the look isn't enough, there's going to be a night or a day. I don't know how that thing. There's going to be a day where a look isn't enough, and Billy's going to get smacked. and because we all know Billy, he pushes the envelope, right? He just continues just slide it across. He and his other half of the A team
It'll be that no look frying pan. Like, you know, he'll be like saying something and he'll turn around and he's like wonk, and then like you're just thunk out.
I don't see Kate using foreign objects, but she might. She strikes me as the kind that can finish the job with the old hands, the old dukes. So we will see. All right, what? DJ, you once flipped a kid into a ditch after school. Everyone was afraid. That's not true. That's just simply not true.
Your mom trying to pump you up a little bit there.
Easy, Mom. Like, I don't think anybody's going to walk into YSN Studios and try to fist fight a 5'4" CEO of a company. And if they do, God bless them. They can have the win. So, all right. We talked before the break. Tons of rules that are just either outdated or bad. What's the one rule that really gets under your skin in any sport that you'd like to see changed? Quentin, we all know you're a basketball guy. What's the one rule you think should be flipped?
Had it for a while.
It's not even a basketball rule. It's the Browns game rule. Why do you give the ball back to the Chiefs when you fumble out of the end zone? You had them pinned. Defense was screwed. And that rule. But I don't even know the name of that rule. It's just dumb. It's a dumb rule.
Fumble rule in the end zone?
I don't know what the name of it is, but it's dumb.
It's called hold on to the damn ball. That's what it should be called.
Then you shouldn't, get hit in the head. Helmet. Either way. It's dumb. It's a dumb rule. You're punishing a guy for trying to reach for the end zone to score.
I thought about this last night. You know where I'm at, and the Browns fans are in a weird spot because they've been pitied and feel bad for us for so long. Like, the Browns fans want to be really good and they want to be a Super Bowl champion, but they also want to be pitied at the same time because they've grown accustomed to that sadness. So Quinn, which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy that scores the touchdown there, or the guy that fumbles the ball out of the end zone? Like, which one do you want to be? Because I'm not really convinced that Browns fans want to be good.
I want points. I want to be good. I don't want pity. I hate pity. I hate giving pity. I hate having it given to me. No. I want to score.
So be a step faster, and you can just lean into it.
That's a stupid rule. I hate that rule.
Okay. I mean, I asked you for it. You gave me an answer. All right. Give me a basketball.
I'll think. Come back to me on that one.
All right, Ty. One rule in sports you can't stand, you want to see changed.
This one's hard for me because there's two, and for me to pick one, I'll go one, and it's because I'm a big baseball traditionalist, and there's been all kinds of new rule changes. I absolutely hate the 3-batter minimum rule, bullpen arms coming out of the bullpen. I hate it. I think it's an aspect of the game. I think it's part of the big chess game that managers play, righty-righty, lefty-lefty matchups. I hate the fact that because you're trying to spur more offense, you're going to make a left-handed pitcher face 3 guys in a lineup when he has really good numbers against one and not the other. I think it takes away from the game and the whole chess cat and mouse game that the pitchers, the manager, everyone plays in the game of baseball.
And that's a new rule, a rule that they've brought in to help the game, so to speak. But I'm with you on that one. Paul, what's one rule that you're not necessarily a fan of, in whatever sport it may be?
I mean, obviously the hot button one is, fumbling out of the end zone. How does the defense get the ball back? But the one that I think is kind of dumb, and I understand to a point why it's there, but the 15-yard personal foul that they give a player if he gets either pushed or goes out of bounds and then just runs up the sideline. Now, the defensive guy is staying with him, but the guy is running out of bounds and then finally comes back into play before he goes to either make the tackle or get close to the returner, and it's a 15-yard personal foul on the team. And now I'm just like, well, he was still running. It's not like he ran out of the stadium and then came back in. He's still running there, and if he tries to go back in, the guy might push him a little bit. I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb because I'm like, the guy's still going down to try to do a job. What's it matter if he happened to be running out of bounds after he got pushed out of bounds at first? So
that's an interesting one. I didn't see that one coming. I still have never been able to understand the difference between defensive pass interference and defensive holding, because if you hold a tight end or a receiver, you're interfering with a pass to them, unless I think
holding is before the ball is thrown. and then after it's thrown, then they call pass interference.
But aren't they still technically interfering with the pass, like the play, the to pass to them to a X receiver, a Y receiver, or a Z receiver? Like that's always my complaint is it should just be pass interference or holding. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
I mean, and I think the other one, to throw a second one in there, is the spot foul.
That one.
I don't like that one either. Is like where you interfere with the guy. I mean, if they throw a Hail Mary down there and you interfere with the guy, guess what? Now the ball gets put there instead of just 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's a spot foul now. So
here's one from Coach Seidel. I don't know how to fix it, but I've always hated the jump ball rule in basketball. Kid makes a hustle play, and if you don't have the arrow, it's just like, congratulations, still not your ball.
The alternating possession rule, I think, is what he's talking about with high school and college. Yeah, I like jumping for the ball too. Make them jump in and earn possession if they.
You mean actually jumping like the NBA?
I mean, I think you should, instead of doing the alternating possession, because if a kid, like Coach Idell says, if you make a hustle play, you get into a jump ball scenario and it's alternating possession. I mean, I understand
as
why
part of the Lollipop Guild, I don't like that jump ball thing. I'm a big fan of the hustle play, don't get me wrong, but I do not like jump balls. My chances go significantly down against anybody that is over the third grade. All right, let's go to Michael Page. Does the 1 year requirement for NBA count?
I don't know if that's I mean, it's a rule. I guess so. Maybe,
The other one I was thinking of too, and it was the other one I was torn. I also don't like baseballs where you could just put up the 4 fingers and then the guys walked. I like you should. I feel like you should be throwing those pitches because the pass ball could happen. I've seen Miguel Cabrera hit a single into right on a pitch that was supposed to be intentionally out.
It's to me the time waste because I fought this tooth and nail, and then I thought, you know what, this isn't that bad, and if it means that you get to see a pitcher a little bit longer, if he doesn't have to waste 4 pitches technically, but then why do we throw 8 pitches before the inning? That's it doesn't make a whole lot of let's see. NFL overtime is the worst, says Michael Page. Is it? I thought it was the same as college now.
Well, no. NFL overtime is you get the ball, you score a touchdown, you win. You
score
you score a field goal. Now, college is they start
at the 25 and go.
Yeah, and each team gets a possession. NFL is you score a touchdown, game over. You score a field goal, the other team gets a touchdown or a safety can end the game immediately. But if you score a field goal, the other team gets the chance to go down and score a field goal to tie or a touchdown to win. So
Ty's dad saying holding can be away from the ball. I see that point. I was just kind of pinpointing why I don't understand it all the time. Because it's a 5-yard penalty as opposed to a spot foul in the pro ranks, which love it on video games, not necessarily in real life. And the blindside block. Football is getting soft. Did the Browns get called for a blindside block? No, they had a blindside block on them. Right?
No, they had a clipping, a glorified clipping.
No, it was that.
Ricky Seals-Jones took out a knee. That's about it.
Huh.
Which is glorified clipping in my mind.
Interesting. So we talked about the ones we don't like. Let's talk about some of the ones we do like. One of the rules that I really have been infatuated with has come from hockey. Their overtime rules, right? You go to overtime, you can't get it settled out, you go to a shootout. Love it. Because not only are you playing for the win or the loss, you're playing for points, right? You get 2 points if you win, 1 point if you lose. I'm into that. I like that because you've played regular time and now you have expired that time. You deserve something out of it. Like, I get it. The traditionalists are going to say, you still lost. But at the same time, you played, like I said, you expired the regular amount of time. You took it to overtime. You deserve something. Even if it's a point, love that about hockey. Also, baseball leaning towards the Texas shootout rule again and 7-inning doubleheaders. Love that as well. Your thoughts? Who's doing it right? Quinn, we'll start with you.
Just in general rules that I like, or like the base.
Yeah, like rules that you think, okay, this made the game better.
I mean, the shot clock in the NBA, transforming it into college and stuff, that made it better. 3-point line made it better. I'm a big fan of the 5-second call for defense. Like, get up on them 5 seconds, reward it for playing good defense, or you're out of bounds and you get a 5-second call. I mean, shame on you for not getting the ball in 5 seconds. I'm a big basketball guy when it comes to that rule.
All right, Quinn, explain this one to me.
I've never heard of that before.
Neither have I. I've heard of the one that I see all the time is what is it about you're not supposed to have your hand in the net? You're not supposed to touch the net at all?
Goaltending.
That's a T?
The goaltending rule?
Isn't it just you're not supposed to touch the net?
In high school, you can't dunk in warm-ups and stuff like that, but I don't think it's just goaltending, I think.
Okay. I thought it was
if you go up for a layup and like I would swipe at the net, is that what you're talking about?
Well, and there's one with like the backboard. You can't slap the backboard, right?
Slap the backboard, yeah.
But you don't see that called that much. And
no, that's yeah. Kids are doing it all the time, and you don't see it.
It's
and the other
judgment call for the ref because
the other one's the dunk and hanging on the rim, right?
That's also a judgment call. Yeah, a lot of these are judgment things.
I must have bad judgment because nobody's calling it.
Well, the reason why nobody really calls the backboard thing is because if you actually get a piece of the ball, it's a block, and you're allowed to hit the board. But if you whiff on everything and just smack the backboard, you're not allowed to do that.
Why?
Affects the backboard, like gives it the whatever this is called, the
vibration.
Can you go up and hit the rim?
No, goaltending.
Even like you see what I'm saying? Like even if the ball's not in the air, like it's goaltending if you just touch the rim.
On a shot, like if a shot's up there and you go for like nobody's just gonna randomly go and touch the rim during a game.
Listen, again, as someone who is not of size, if you told me the only chance I get to touch the rim is in the middle of the game, I'm going to do it. I'm going after that rim. Like, it's one of the few things in life I will never be able to do. Home run, no problem. Checked off list. Touchdown.
They won't say anything because it's like, hey, look, this kid's finally touching the rim or something,
But I would look like Gonzo getting shot out of a cannon. Like, I would look like something out of the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, it wouldn't look natural. And also, I would be terrified coming back down. Like, I would need a parachute coming back down to earth. All right. So all that said, Ty, do you have any rules that you really like that enhance the game?
For me, I really liked, and it's funny because I just said I'm a baseball traditionalist, but the one rule I really liked that and they implemented in recent years was instant replay. I think it was something that needed to come to baseball, and I like that it's very clear cut. It's not like NFL. I feel like NFL, there's always certain rules that aren't reviewable, and then that changes year to year. Baseball is like pretty much everything's reviewable with the exception of balls and strikes because balls and strikes would just get out of hand, and they know that. But I mean, I think it makes the game better. But it also shows how really good these umpires are because they get most of the calls correct anyway. I think it's right around, they said 90+%. So
yeah, tell that to who's the guy? He's from around here, isn't it? Jim Joyce or whatever. What are you laughing at,
Scotty? The tuck rule in the NFL. Thanks for bringing it up, Scotty. Really like that one, don't I? Jerk. I like they moved the extra point back.
I do too. I do like that.
That was something. I mean, I think they showed the stat when the year that they moved it. Like it was almost 90% of extra points were made when it was from the 3-yard line, and now moving it back. I mean, they've moved it back. And
it was getting to the point, Paul, where you don't need a kicker on your roster. You could just have some, I mean, just put somebody through the uprights. No, Quinn, we know it's not you.
I could make it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you have to run you have to run more than 3 yards just to get to the football.
No, so you walk the first step, you take a big stride, and you kick it from 5 yards.
It is also nice because you see a lot more 2 points going for. They go for 2 a lot more in the NFL now.
Yeah, because you go for 2 from the 3.
Yeah,
you get to go from the 3-yard line.
It also sells. So sex sells, and that's 2 points. Oh,
here's my question.
Here we go.
Where do you go if you want to do a drop kick? Like Doug Flutie had that drop kick against the Dolphins, I think it was.
Did you steal Paul's watch?
I'm with Jeff Bezos' car.
Would you steal Jeff's car?
Oh, that's just how. That's a perfect way to end it. Billy, why are you with Jeff Bezos' car?
I was hoping he's out here because I was ill, but I could, right?
Jeez.
This scares the hell out of me. All right, let's get to
Well,
our
I had to
filet
get- I had to
and
get
beef.
computer stuff.
Got it. Well, enjoy the games tonight. We're gonna get to the live games in just a minute. Thanks for popping by. I still think Kate could kick your ass. Let's go to filet or beef, brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. Visit them on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Their family's farm, your family's freezer. Let's go. Quinn, filet or beef?
All right. It's a very soft beef, and it's going to be with your mom with that comment about the popcorn. How do you live like that? You can't just take out the divider and shake it.
Sue Oakley doesn't live with rules.
That's unbelievable. That's too much chaos for me. I don't like that. That's my beef today. It's been a good day.
All right. Has been a good day.
But I do have to leave. So
see you, buddy.
See you guys later.
Ty, you're up.
For me, it's gonna be a filet. I got a good game tonight. Liberty Leopards get to go see Liberty, so they're next. That's gonna be the next school I visit. But I mean, excited to see Jacob Portalees of McDonald come in for the undefeated.
There it is.
Devils. So excited to see them come in and do what they do best and just watch some good competitive basketball tonight.
I told Coach Francis Celli that you and I have already went over the undefeated McDonald Blue Devils. So, hey, listen, Blue Devil Nation, we love you. Not on Ty. Not on Ty. He looked at Max Preps. He made the mistake we all do once in our life, and he believed the internet. So, Ty, I'll take the heat for you, buddy. Muncie, filet or beef?
Yeah, and he's a big fan of ours, too. When I did the game on Friday, he come up to me, he goes, "Hey, you're one of those guys on the Power Hour." He's like, "Oh, I watch it all the time." It was great because I needed to know how many three-pointers they had because they shot the lights out when they played Western Reserve. They had 19. I think they said that was a state record. But,
it is.
They had 18 in the next game that I called.
Yeah, I mean, it was just –
They count by threes in McDonald. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, they just lighten it up. Mine's a filet. Mine's a filet. I was able to after everything that had gone on the last couple weeks around, with the whole sickness and everything, all my kids are back in school and they're happy. And I got a good inner city game tonight. So East and Cheney. So it should be fun.
Mine will be a filet as well. Just happy to be back, man. Happy to be as much as I loved being around my girls and my wife. Happy to be back with you. It was weird. Had to go grocery shopping as my first duty out of the house, and I was not ready for society and the gas prices rising. So if I had a beef, it would be with that we're going to be paying $7 for gas pretty soon here. So
thanks, Joe Biden.
Oh boy, here we go. That's going to do it for our show. For more information, just like it says on the bottom of the screen, go to ysnlive.com, click on the live tab, and have a look at all the games we have tonight, because you are spoiled tonight. And all of these games, naturally, brought to you by WRS Wealth Advisors. Thanks again to Tommy and the gang for picking up the bill for everybody here in the area that wants to watch some basketball, some swimming and diving, and some wrestling and bowling this year. So appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow for another edition of the Ysn Power Hour. And 3 to 4 every day, weekdays, right here on YSN. See you guys later.